Hello? Okay, great. How are we doing, folks? My name is Brian Ó Flaithbheartaigh, and thanks a million for the opportunity to have a look at my poster on incorporating Udeskole into my outdoor learning practice. I'll quickly go through Udeskole, very basic introduction to Udeskole, how I incorporate it into my practice, and then the conclusions that I've reached from doing that. So Udeskole, it's a Scandinavian concept. This is an amalgamation of all the Scandinavian flags. Basically means outdoor school, and 14% of Danish schools, and I picked Denmark because it's very similar to Ireland in both population and size, and 14% of the schools signed up to practice Udeskole. Now, if you sign up as a school, it's a compulsory weekly or bi-weekly day of outdoor learning. I suppose unlike outdoor education, which is a subject in its own right, Udeskole uses the outdoor space to enhance learning and retention of several different subjects, be it geography or maths or history, science. It's for 7 to 16-year-olds, so it goes from primary right through to second level education. And my initial idea or perception of outdoor school was that it would take place in a forest or a beach or, Killarney National Park, some pristine wilderness. But in fact, it can take place anywhere. It can take place in a museum, farm, as I said, forest, beach. And in fact, if we look at this photograph here, we have a group of kids participating in Udeskole in a derelict factory. So it's definitely not what I expected. So a Danish study has revealed that not only does it help with retention, but it's actually, they become more socially aware by learning outdoors. They have reduced stress levels, they have a better sense of well-being, and a Swedish study has reported that the teachers have significantly reduced stress levels by engaging in outdoor learning, which can only be good for the teachers and the students. So, how do I incorporate it into my outdoor learning practice? Well, funnily enough, I was involved with a project called Orbit, which became Orbital, Outdoor Resources Brought into Teaching and subsequently and Learning. That was a number of years ago, so when I was choosing a topic to speak about, it was close to my heart. The National Council for Curriculum and Assessment, well, they've stated on their website that they want to develop a deeper understanding, for students to develop a deeper understanding and knowledge of subject areas. And by bringing students outdoors, I think the obvious one, geography as a subject to link to outdoor learning. If you bring a student on top of a hill, it contextualizes what they learn in the classroom. As you look down on the hill and the surrounding countryside, rivers, settlements, towns, well, you can look at physical geography. I know myself and my colleagues, when you go up a hill, you might point out, oh, that's a round U-shaped valley, or look at those oxbow lakes. When we start to look at settlements and the interaction between human geography and physical geography, it really does bring it home to students. We had a day of outdoor learning recently where we got the students to construct models using maps. Now this is abstract. This is an abstract notion for 8 or 9-year-old child to look at a piece of paper and visualize the shapes and the height, the colours, and actually create that. And we did that this morning in the woods with our group on Udeskole, and I think it was very successful. And not only with the primary school students, but with adults as well. This morning they were extremely engaged, and what it did was it facilitated conversation. So yes, you look at the physical geography, but now we wonder, well, why are people settled in Tralee? Why are they not camped up on top of the mountain? So it prompts discussion, and more than that, it gives a sense of place. And students can identify, oh, I live there. Or where is that in relation to the mountains? Again, it develops sense of space and place. And going back to this Danish class, yeah, initially you might say, well, they can't be in a derelict site. But that's their site, that's their locality. That's where they live. And every time they pass that, they can relate back to that. Now, the conclusions, well, in my opinion, I think it's a really, really valuable asset or tool for teachers to use. It's cross-curricular, it's not just for geography, it's not just for history, it's for all subjects, and teachers can do it. They can utilise professional outdoor practitioners to help with it if they wish, but as time goes on, there's no reason why they can't do it themselves. I would have every faith in the ability of teachers to go out and do this themselves. So, I think the framework for doing this already exists in the Irish curriculum. And I came up with the term there, Ranga Fuin Spare. I didn't want to use Shomer Ranga classroom, and I didn't want to use Thiva Moi outside. Fuin Spare, I felt, encompasses a lot more. So I think it's an era-responsive way of getting kids outdoors. I just heard this morning that there was a study done where they put accelerometers, I don't know if that's the correct term, and the students were using they were burning a lot of calories outdoors, and we've only heard recently how, the Irish population are on course in a bad way to be obese or overweight. So as a way of getting kids out there and active, enjoying themselves, and retaining the information and enhancing the information that they learn in the classroom, I think it's a great opportunity. So that's all. Thanks very much. Questions?
Any questions for Brian on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
You said that you believe that there's a framework already in existence in the Irish educational system that would accommodate this. How soon do you think you could see a move towards this in the Irish educational system, or can you?
That's a tricky one. How soon? Well, outdoor instructors use the phrase, there's no bad weather, just bad gear. But to get that mindset into the Irish culture, that would take time. But we've started somewhere, and I believe it's been there an awful long time. I mean, you could go back to hedge schools and say that's outdoor learning, for a different reason perhaps, but they were outdoors. So yeah, I think it will take time, but I think it is there already. It is there, just we've got to promote it. And I suppose give confidence to teachers and the system that it's a good thing.
To be fair, the reason I asked it is because when I was a kid growing up in a country school, we regularly had class outside. We regularly went for the nature walk and all of those kind of things. So it would actually be reverting back rather than going forward in a lot of ways.
It's nothing new.
No.
I think we may have kind of diverted a little bit from utilising the outdoors, but nothing new.
Okay, so another question over here, Alan.
Just to answer the question, is it there? It already exists within the junior cert through the HSP program. Just how much that's what I spent the last 20 years doing as an outdoor education teacher in the school that I'm in. We developed a cross-curricular links program between outdoor education, which already existed as a standalone subject, and now we built it into the main body of the school. The JCSP profiling system allows for cross-curricular links between lots of different subjects. We've done it with maths, woodwork, geography, history, religion. Again, it does. We're fortunate with two full-time OE staff in the school. We've, as Tomas said earlier on, outdoor education in the curriculum started in Ballyfermot Vocational School, which is now Conmore College, 50 years ago this year. So the tradition has always been there. And going back to when it first started, the curriculum development unit started the humanities program, which was lashed out. People who are in my age might remember the humanities program, which was a mixture between English, geography, and history and environmental studies. I think they banned it back in the mid '80s, but it is there. In order for schools to do it, well, then the school has to be committed to piling the resources in them. Again, we're quite lucky. We've 2 staff, we've 2 minibuses, we've all the gear to cater, and as I said, my time is spent working with junior cycle classes. Some mainly just geography, but other subjects we would say, you know, like some people talking about beach art. So we would use the outdoor environment to say, well, this is the teacher will come to me and say, have this plan, what can we do? We sit down and say, right, there's 2 or 3 different activities in that, and then off we go. But you have to have the support from the school. Again, the VEC school or the ETB school that I'm in has a strong position. We're quite lucky. Other schools where it was has died off, and I was talking to somebody earlier on. The guy that interviewed me and gave me my job 20 years ago in school, when he became principal of his own school, he knocked outdoor education on the head, because for him there was any number of freelance or industrial experts, whatever they call this, who could teach climbing or paddling or walking. But what he really wanted was an English teacher, a maths teacher, a history teacher, who would come into the school and then develop these programs. So there is the willingness to be there, but it depends on the skills that people are going into. With the cutbacks, the teaching council has killed a lot of it. A lot of guys that were with me in the City Dublin ETB have all been reclassified as industrial experts. Some people have lost their jobs. There has to be a willingness on behalf of the leadership of the school to develop it. But the frameworks are there, even within the Leaving Cert Applied programme, there has to be a cross-curricular link between IT and English in all the subjects. So outdoor education has been brought into use into, say, woodwork there again. Like we've done orienteering with tree identification. The markers are put at the tree, the kids have to go off and come back, and then they can identify that tree produces that type of wood. There has to be a bit of creativity. Terence said earlier on, you have to have the ability to be able to laugh at mistakes you're going to make, not be afraid of doing something and it goes completely tits up and say, right, that didn't work. We'll try something else.
Interesting enough, thanks for that contribution. Interesting enough, in Denmark, only 48% of teachers practicing Udeskole have training in Udeskole. So it's 52% just regular teachers, but are regular teachers, yet they will use Udeskole to enhance learning. So I don't think teachers need to be retrained per se, or upskilled. I think they have the skills already, but I think maybe just the confidence to say, yeah, go out and do it, and the support from the principal or the department to do that. Get rid of the red tape.
Well, unfortunately, there's more and more red tape coming in, so the whole idea of teachers, like an English teacher or a history teacher, just being let off outside to do something without an outdoor qualification is being cut down more and more.
Well, one of the things that's highlighted is you don't have to go up to the mountains. You don't have to go to the river. You can go to the derelict factory site. You can go to Phoenix Park. It doesn't have to be the Phoenix Park. It could be just down the road by the canal or wherever it is, and utilise that. So I think my mindset perhaps initially would have been that we had to go to the national parks or we had to get on the minibus and travel. But I take your points. A lot of red tape and
there has to be a commitment from the school. Like again, the City of Dublin schools were the ones that had a lot of outdoor education programs, and a lot of the teachers that ran those programs, once they retired, the programs have died. So outdoor education was really kind of hit. It's only maybe 2-3 schools with skills in full flight. 2 of those schools are providing PLC courses, and they do nothing at second level.
Okay, I'm going to cut you off there now because we're running out of time. So thanks a million for your attention, folks.